Hello. Man, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I'm laughing my ass right now. God, I watched the video clip of Chrissy Nome doing that thing where she was like doing like a promo. Apparently it was made last year, but she literally had a gun, not even, at least from this perspective, aiming towards the face. Which even if it was like it was aiming like here, even if it was aiming like right here, that's still like, oh my god, holy shit. Look, I don't care how political I get. So, clearly, the Secretary of Homeland Security does not know any gun safety. You might be saying, what do you know? Gun safety, you stupid lib. Actually, 1, not a lib. 2, no gun safety. Rule number 1, treat your gun like it's always loaded. It doesn't matter if you have a mag. It does not matter if it is unloaded. It doesn't matter. Treat it like it's always loaded. Because guns can kill and they can harm. So you have to respect that by treating it as if it was loaded. It's always good to be more safe than less safe. Number 2, do not point your gun at anything you do not intend to destroy. I mean, that kind of goes on to my evidence that ICE does not know how to operate guns safely. And before someone says, like, as far as for crowd, oh, their guns are supposed to kill you, don't handle them safely. No. For example, you know how to actually aim a gun in a way that could hurt the enemy. And by the way, I'm not condoning violence. I'm against them. They're dumbasses. They don't know what they're doing. They're completely out of hand and corrupt. But, like, for example, when they shot Renee Good, they basically shot through a window, which, let's say if she was a terrorist, you just shot through a window, you dumbasses. That could have hit a civilian. So even if it was trying to get rid of a terrorist, you just operate a gun in a way that could harm a civvy. Which, well, they did harm a civvy. They killed a civvy. And that actually goes on my third rule. Third rule, know what is beyond your range. I have a gun in my hand right now. Let's say I'm going to shoot towards this geyser. Okay? Hold on. Let's say I'm going to shoot towards this geyser. When I'm aiming towards this geyser, I need to be aware that I could hit everything between these 2 points on out. I can hit a cone. So I could accidentally slip and hit those trees back there. Good grief, I'm hiccuping. I could hit these trees back here. So know what's beyond your range, because say if you're shooting at a range or shooting at an outdoor range, you don't know. You better make sure that there's no highway or interstate beyond that. Because if you have a bullet go past, I don't think I need to explain that it may go and travel and hit someone's car and take them out. And obviously that's not good, so you really want to make sure what is beyond your range. And and some people will say, oh, but what about safety? You know, it doesn't matter. No, it does not matter if the safety is on a firearm or not. You treat it as if it's loaded. There are some rare instances where guns can discharge if dropped. Like, that's like the top 3 gun safety rules that everybody should follow. It is embarrassing how I am 20 years old and I have autism spectrum disorder, which does not make me dumber, by the way. But, you know, these people would probably consider me to be dumber. Yet, I know more gun safety than them. That's embarrassing. I should not know more gun safety than you. 1 out of 10 being 1, I'm a newbie gun user, and 2 being I've never used, and 10 being I'm a god at guns. I rate myself at roughly like a 5 or a 6. I know a pretty good variety of guns. I know about how they work and shit. But yeah, so I analyzed the footage from Christy Nome. So she's holding what looks like an AR. If I had to get a guess, it's probably like either an AR-15, M4, or something like an HK-416 or 417. So it's an AR platform. Now, a lot of newbies will be like, oh, look, it's AR means assault rifle. AR does not mean assault rifle. It means Armalite, which is the company that makes ARs or patents the design, which I'm pretty sure was first designed and patented by Colt in 1958, or no, 56, I believe. It was mid-60s they patented the AR design. So on AR designs, ARs have this little cover that goes over the mag well or the chamber to protect from dirt debris, and you can click it closed. Now, to open this, essentially on most models, you have to pull the bolt back, and it will open it. So that means that either, we could assume that, you know, she did the operation of loading, quote-unquote, loading the gun, or not. It could have been handed to her, but it does not matter, because either she or whoever operated the gun and handed it to her is not good at firearms. Actually, no, she's not good at firearms, because she's aiming it toward, she's ready to amp friendly fire and shit. So, as you can see, here's the picture. There's her, and she's got the gun straight up in this guy's face, and it doesn't matter. Let's say if the gun was right here and it was aiming where it would hit my skull, it doesn't matter. You could easily sway the gun and blow my head off. And by the way, that gun, which, assuming that, you know, she's using like a federally issued gun, which a lot of them use like 223 or the more common 5.56 NATO rounds, has more than enough power to blow your brains out. That round that she's carrying could definitely cause severe injury, which is like that gun right there. If it's not chambered in 22, which it doesn't matter, even if it was 22, it'd still kill you. That gun has rounds that are literally scientifically designed to kill, so it doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter any bullet in the gun; it'd still be harmful if you get shot. But, so yeah, again, I could tell it's an AR by the magwell, the little, the buffer tube, because AR platforms have, they're very standard. They have an upper and a lower body combined. The back is cylindrical and ends in a buffer tube that can have custom stocks removed, added, and modified on the end. AR platforms also have a distinct magwell that takes stanags. They can take many rounds of mags. They're called mags. You put clips in your hair and you put magazines in your guns. But, I will give her 1 point. Her finger's not on the trigger, and neither the guy that she's pointing is on the trigger. So as much as I hate these guys, I'll give them 1 brownie point for not having their finger on the trigger of the gun. And, oh, that's the 4th rule. When you're not using your gun, hands off the trigger. Don't move your little fingers towards the trigger at all. For example, if I have a gun, which I have a Nerf gun over here I can demonstrate this with. I will say the guy on the left, right of her, you should have your finger like this. This is dangerous. Right here, you do not put your finger on the trigger until you're ready to shoot. That's 1 brownie point. However, I have to remove that brownie point because she's pointing it at her homie's head. Holy shit. If I were a drill sergeant and I work in the army and I saw one of my comrades did that, guess what? They're giving me 200 push-ups in the middle of the yard and I'm gonna make everybody watch him. He's getting embarrassed. He's gonna learn to never do that shit again. Because let's say, by the way, another thing I have to bring out, we don't know if the gun itself is on safe. She could easily have it on fire. I assume that I would say I'd give her about 1 out of 5 chance it's on fire. But it, again, doesn't matter if it's safe or on fire. It still will harm if you know, it'll still, I've been saying not like still harm, but it still is considered dangerous even if it's unsafe and not loaded, because again, it's common firearm safety. So here's what I think she did. She either put a mag. She has a mag in there, which it's one thing to point a gun at somebody if it's empty. It's another to point a gun at somebody with a mag in it. Holy shit. But it's fake doesn't matter. It does not matter, because here's the thing. I'll explain why it's dangerous. I don't know if that magazine she has a bullet in it or not. I don't know. I don't know if it is loaded or not. And that's why that's dangerous. Because again, you don't know if it's loaded. It could cause harm. If you try to pick it up and fire it, even playfully, you're like, oh, I'm gonna fire this gun and play with it. Guess what? It's got a bullet in it and it kills someone. Or harms them. So that right there is an absolute no-no. Again, she has a gun near people that is friendly to her, like, quote-unquote, friendlies, I should say, and she literally has a mag in it. Jesus Christ. And also, the thing that covers, I think I mentioned this, but the thing that covers the bolt and keeps the dirt out is open, which means that, again, she cocked it open in order... she or somebody who gave it to her had cocked the gun open. And, I don't know, I'm stuttering. Stop talking like this, because I have to focus. But either somebody gave it to her loaded, or... in the worst case, she did it herself. So either she put a mag in, and then if it was an empty mag, here's the thing. Either the gun was locked open, because when an AR fires its last bullet in the magazine, most of them will lock open. And then you could take the mag out and put another one in, and then hit a button on the left of most of them. Could be right if it's a lefty or ambidextrous model. And then it closes the bolt. So you actually don't have to cock it back. You can just empty, put one in, click, it clicks shut. Which is pretty cool, by the way. I like that feature. So she either had it locked open, put a mag in it, and clicked it shut, which would be an even bigger red flag, or it was already closed, and she took the previous mag out and put another one in, or... I just realized this. It could be the worst. She literally she could have even gotten one right out of the armory that is loaded. If they store them loaded in the armory, which I don't feel like they would do, but given that we are seeing all these firearm safety issues, I wouldn't hold my breath. Another thing, I mean, it could be standard and not standard in the military. She should also be wearing glasses. Again, when guns discharge, they have vaporized gunpowder, which can get in your eyes and mess them up. Really do not recommend finding out what that feels like. That sucks. Should be wearing shades. And I would say headset, but tactical officers in the military and shit like that don't use headsets because they have to hear the enemies. So yeah. Oof. Imagine being that high up and you don't know how to use a gun. Holy shit. And now, another reason I despise this witch of a person. She killed her dog. Oh, it was aggressive. Well, guess what? Here's what I think. In my opinion, my sister is a veterinarian. She's pretty good at her job. She knows her shit. She graduates with flying colors. She passes tests with flying colors. Now, I agree with her on one thing. I feel like there's more of a bad owner than a bad dog. For example, take a pit bull. Pit bulls have a little bit of a notorious nature with them, where people view them as aggressive and bad dogs, and so do shepherds are the same way. People view them as aggressive, yet here's the thing. We have a German Shepherd pit bull, and you'd expect her to be the most aggressive dog in the freaking history of Earth. She's peaceful. She doesn't like cats like most dogs, but she literally, we introduced her to my guinea pig, and she actually loved the guinea pig. She didn't eat him or try to kill him. She loved the guinea pig. She's one of the sweetest dogs I've ever known, and she's a mix of what are supposedly the two most vicious dog breeds on the planet. So, I don't care how many people say, oh, I might be unbiased because I just don't like her. I don't. So not only is she incompetent at owning guns, she's also incompetent at owning animals. She can't train a dog with a shit. Oh, it's eaten by it was killing chickens. Well, guess what? So, okay, try not to cancel me here. But there's this thing called a leash, and you put your dog, and you can tie the leash to a secure spot, and the dog won't go away. See? Isn't that simple? And it's affordable. If someone of her status can exist, well, guess what? She can afford a leash. There's a reason we use leashes, chat. So she's incompetent at gun handling, and incompetent at dog ownership. Overall, huge amount of incompetence. So yeah, last episode we completely decorated. So yeah, we decorated this one. Hello, viewer. Oh, shit. Ow. I think I left my biofuel at home. What? A floor is lava, avoid touching the ground for 30 minutes? I guess that's like accumulated time. I've been airborne for more than half an hour of accumulated time. What the hell? Yeah, I know, right? Isn't it cool? Now, of course, as you can see, we're going on trickle-down system number 2. So, of course, trickle-down refinement system number 2 had a void space inside of it. This void space was filled with a 10 gigawatt hour battery. Or no, 25 gigawatt hours. By the way, I have great news. I have successfully mapped out the next iteration. Yes, you're not going to believe this. I am ready for the next I have the plans for the next renovation of the facility all laid out. Yes. You know how I spent literally like over 3 weeks renovating this facility? Well, if I had the materials to do it, I'm ready to do it. The next iteration, or version 3, will probably be the final iteration. I don't want to be that person, but I don't see a really big need to go towards ionized fuel. Now, I did look at some slight spoilers, and guess what? If nobody knows, well, ionized fuel requires none other than, you know, a cup. Oh, wow, these are actually huge. Oh my god, these things are huge. I thought they were like this big. It's a big ass shark. Anyway, so we require a little bit of these dudes, and by a little bit, I mean an unending supply of them. Even if we could harvest all the slugs in this entire game, I don't think I would do it. Honestly, I did an estimate. I would get, if I go from I'll generate 315 gigawatts if I go to my next version, and if I go to a version after that, I'll generate like another 115 megawatts, which sounds nice, but I mean, look at this. For fuel, we quintupled. And if we do this phase transition again, well, we're going to sextuple. Oh, I know. Even if I could craft them, I just have a feeling that it may not be worth it. You know what I mean? Honestly. My next switch will probably be at phase 9. Or the tier 9. Because I would probably need a either I'd have to upgrade my train network, or I could even get Mark 4 belts, or Mark 6 belts, apparently. Even if I had to stop at 315 gigawatts, I'm fine. Also, here's where it gets even better. So, I have a thing I like to call energy efficiency. And you may have a different term, but I use this efficiency as the amount of power that I get. How much power will I get? For the first phase of this factory, before I stopped and I basically tore it all down, I got 77% of the energy produced from the first phase of the iteration of the facility was sent to the grid. When this is done, it will achieve an efficiency of 86%. But with the final, third, and most likely final phase, we're going to achieve a staggering 94% bare minimum efficiency, which means that in the next phase, 94% of the energy made will be sent to the grid, whereas this facility, it's 86. That's an 8% increase. So the new facility will generate 1.5 times the plastic and sextuple the power, which I completely approve of. It will first work by converting all of the all the oil into HOR. This is going to generate a lot of resin. The resin will be turned into rubber. Why rubber? Why not plastic and rubber? Well, I'll explain. You see, so there's actually 3 ways to produce rubber and plastic in this game. You can either turn it to rubber, plastic straight from HOR from crude oil. You can turn it into plastic rubber from crude oil, from resin with water, or from the opposite resource with fuel recycling. So, for example, right here, if we go for residual rubber, we need 4 polymer for 2 rubber. But if we go for residual plastic, we need 6 for 2. So 3 resin for every 2 plastic versus 2 for every 1 rubber. So we turn it all into rubber and we get 900 rubber per minute, right? Also, we're going to need fuel to power the blenders, or to mix in the blenders to make turbo fuel. And, give me a second, I know what I'm going to say. I will actually generate more fuel than I need. So the extra, I'm going to generate up to 900 extra fuel per minute. So here's what I'm going to do. First of all, 300 fuel a minute will be split off from that 900 fuel a minute, and 300 rubber a minute will be split into off that 900 rubber a minute. It'll then combine and make 600 plastic a minute. So I have 600 plastic a minute and 600 rubber a minute. And I also have 600 fuel a minute. So this fuel will be split into half. The rubber and plastic will be split into half. Half of the rubber will mix with half of the fuel. Half of the plastic will mix with the other half of the fuel to achieve a complete output of 900 rubber per minute and 900 plastic per minute. 1.5 times current production. So I think we agree with it's not gonna make a huge machine difference here. But if I need any more rubber or plastic, I'm gonna run it off this facility. Also, there is a chance that even though with all this work done, this facility could even transition off as being a power facility if I work with nuclear. Which I have a feeling that even if I work with nuclear, I'll still love having this facility as a backup power facility. Another thing. We're going to have to make these generators a lot taller. We're probably going to have to triple. We might even see a triple or even quadrupling of the generators. Okay, so I'm going to go with the, give me a second. I'm going to look it up. Or actually, wait, no, never mind, I don't have it. So apparently, later on in my playthrough, I will unlock something known as the blender, which has the ability to mix 2 fluids/gases and 2 solids. That is actually how I can make dilute fuel without using containers. So, I will be going for a couple recipes. The first recipe to make my turbo fuel, it's going to be made out, it's going to be turbo fuel blend. Now, I did a calculation. I actually have to put more HOR into this to make, I actually have 2 options. First, turbo fuel blend, which makes turbo fuel from fuel, HOR, sulfur, and petroleum coke. The good thing is fuel and petroleum coke comes from HOR, and plus I have more HOR. So 2 main ingredients is HOR and sulfur. I know. After this, it will then be mixed with the rocket fuel recipe, which means I get nitric acid. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Nitro rocket fuel is actually way better for fuel conversion, but there's one issue. It's going to eat a lot of sulfur if I do it. And sulfur is a resource I want to try to use less of, because apparently I've heard sulfur is rare. I mean, come on, look at this. I literally have to get sulfur from this huge-ass portion of the map to supply the plant. There's definitely a lot more sulfur over here. But I like the recipe from the fuel to turbo fuel and to rocket fuel because it uses... I'm going to use 300 more sulfur a minute, but for sextuple the output, which I accept. Remember, this is Satisfactory. We all have our different processes. So yeah, my goal is to get, or attempt to get, this done. Yeah, I probably have another hour of time I can hang out here because I have to go to my work. $30 meters. Another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rip the band-aid off. I'm going to make all the generators look the same. So I'm just gonna use blueprints to try to panel up those sides. Because if we don't use blueprints, I bet you or if we use blueprints, we could probably save at least a couple hours. So yeah, we got the main, the first unit, or the first trickle-down refinement system done. And by the way, if the person who, Mexican, if you really want to see it, here it is. Here is the final look of the unit. Looks a lot better than that naked framework like that, in my opinion at least. And, also, it comes equipped with its very own lighting system. And each layer can be independently turned off for lights. You're welcome. Lol. What do you mean Harley Davidson? I see more Chevron than anything. Fun fact. The arrow down design is actually a reference to the fact that, of course, it trickles down. The liquids flow downward from the top. This building, and here's the thing. This building actually has a very high chance of getting gutted and reconfigured inside. I will not rule out literally tearing the roof off and making it taller. We're gonna have to have 90 refineries if 100% overclock. But you know what I might do? I honestly might wait till tier 9. By the way, it has TAA on it. I might wait till tier 9 so I can overclock the refineries. The only problem with overclocking, it's nice, but the con about overclocking is that it uses actually more power per production unit, as opposed to using 100% individual overclocked units. But you do get a lot of your space back. Even if I overclocked, I'd probably produce an efficiency of like 93%, which is still very good. I can make the most wasteful, most inefficient power using recipes in here, and I'll still get I'd still get a majority of my power sent to the grid. So hey, I couldn't even use more power than I cannot even use more power than this plant consumes if I tried. Unless I was focusing on like plastic production, or if I were a complete nimwit. Another thing is, when I might upgrade. Alright, that's actually supposed to happen. When I do upgrade the generators, I actually might plan on putting battery bays at their bottoms. If we don't overclock our generators, we're gonna need 1,000 of them. So that's gotta go. Bluetooth died. Oof. Another problem I see is I might actually wait till I can make those power crystals. That way I can overclock my equipment and those generators, because those generators. Oh my god. I can build vertically up. It doesn't matter because rocket fuel is a gas. Apparently it does not need any head lift requirements. Oh, great. Chat glitch. Dude, I watched a video today of how they built the Hoover Dam, and that's insane, dude. The amount of engineering required in that is awesome. I might have to go get some more plates. Also, by the way, if I get my new system to be made, I can actually generate enough compact coal, and there's only a couple things I can do with that. But I'm actually starting to eyeball steel production. I can make 2,100 steel ingots if I make every single bit of my compact coal into steel. I can make a maximum of about 2,100 steel ingots, which can also be processed into steel plates to make the nitric acid. Why does my freaking headset disconnect? My Bluetooth. This is some bullshit. Any plates? That's really nice how that bridge, it is long and kind of weird, but it's nice because it actually great, the more straight the rail is, the better, more efficient it is. Shit, I am gonna have to go get more of that. I'm gonna have to go get more silica. Alright, so the battery room is all glassed in. I think it's... I will need to go get more silica. There's a little bit in here, but it's not nearly enough to really do that much. What the hell? Yo. What? Nice. God, I feel so good today. I was playing that one trench game on Roblox, and I think I made a guy who was using Kill Aura, and you know what that is? It's when you spin around and the aimbots on everybody and it kills them. Somebody was using a weaker version of Kill Aura, and I killed him. And there's the other guy who was killing me. I killed him 3 times in a row. Yep, both of them did. Imagine losing to an autistic kid in his mom's basement. Like, honestly, I don't care how offensive I sound. You're a waste of oxygen. You are an absolute waste of oxygen if you can't kill a kid who's on the spectrum in his mom's basement. Sorry, got a skill issue. Yep, Mom, it's called getting a job. Bozo. Rip bozo, loser. Yeah. So, here's what I suggest. So, you're going to want to find this thing called a W-2 form. You want to fill it out. And then, after you do that, put your fries in the bag, little bitch. You know what I should say? If I had a voice back like, hey, buddy, how about you go work at McDonald's? Go get me some fries. Go get me a Coke, buddy. Go get me some fries, little broski. He needs to go get me some fries, like a good little boy. Yo, by the way, I found an ethereal block on that Mining World game, and you know how you keep seeing those giant spheres of empty space? Well, I finally got to find out how they're generated today. They are generated when an ethereal block is mined. And when it generated this big sphere, it actually spawned like 3 or 4 pieces of legendary ores. And a mythic. It's kind of weird to think that you have personal finance classes. Interesting. Yeah, I need to get my laundry done. Yeah, but say, yeah, it is Thursday. Ugh. You just probably want to go back to bed. Dude, I remember once I don't know if I think it was like my medication, but I remember like my 6th grade math class at the end of each day, and I was so cooked. That's when my medication would run out every day, and I would just fall asleep. I had to have my assistant teacher wake my ass up every 5 minutes. That's probably why I did so shitty at decimals for the better half of 5 years. Not when you say that, I can't get the meme of the like the rabbi meme of Bernie Sanders. Rabbi plays music. I can't find the meme on YouTube. That sucks. Oh my gosh. Hmm. Why is my dad so goddamn loud? I love this. This is such a cool design. Here, Jack. Oh, I was talking there, but I didn't get it on mic or whatever. Hi. Hey, you said you had... Okay, so, Come on, get upstairs. Oops, my dog's down here. I just have to get my mom my money for my car, because, you know, yes, I'm employed. I'm not a lifeless piece of shit. God damn it. I think we should just rip the band-aid off and get out my arsenal and have some fun. Man, the wind farm has changed a lot since you went away. Oh yeah, they have, I think when you were there was 3 units that are completely built. Now we have, like, 9. What? Have you seen, speaking of fish sticks, have you ever seen, the, the South Park, episode? And it's like Kanye West, say like fish sticks. He's like, yeah, so you're a gay fish. No, I'm not. Why does everybody keep saying that? I love South Park. Maybe I might say that stopping on, you know, the fact that I have I think it might be good to stop after I get this floor here done. Like this actually I did pretty good today, even if I do stop. Yes, I have work on Thursdays now. I should have said that. What did you say? Holy shit. Why, you know what's funny? I got banned last night twice from the Trench War servers. Yeah, I can shoot so fast with my my little fingers that it literally looks like I'm cheating. What? What the hell? Nasty. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna stop here. I'm actually satisfied with stopping on here. Hopefully we can get this floor done next time. You know what the good thing is? If I do the turbo fuel floors, I might do them all both the same. Obviously. So yeah, peace out, chat. I'll be back later after I get off from my job censor. It's funny how people censor job. It's so cringy.